Now, I know most people who play fighting games don't really bother with the single player content, but BlazBlue has always been a series with a good amount of single player content, cross-tag excluding this whole list, but the point is, yeah, BlazBlue's always had a good amount of single player content, and I think one of my favorite modes by far in the entire BlazBlue series is the Abyss mode, or how Central Fiction calls it, Grim of Abyss mode. Abyss mode is a fun RPG style mode where you're literally just running, you beat enemies, you gain stats, you even get some skills to go along with that to change how the game will play. For example, hey, let's say you jump into BlazBlue's Chrome Phantasma Extends Abyss mode, right? You get an ability that allows you to boost your stats. There's certain aura skills like red aura, which increases your attack, or a rainbow aura, which increases all your stats by 50, something like that. And I like that because it not only affects how the mode is played, it affects how essentially the entire game is played, you know? You can get abilities that increase your damage, seal distortion drives, poison your opponent, increase your own heat, make all your attacks counter hits, make all your attacks fatal counters, have a tiny chance to insta-kill your opponent. Shit like that is just fun. Hell, you can increase your HP, you know, etc., etc. Hell, you can equip abilities that prevent you from being attacked in the air, or prevent all attacks affecting you only in the air. Like shit like that. I like Abyss mode. I like both iterations of Abyss modes from both BlazBlue Chrome Phantasma all the way to BlazBlue Central Fiction. Now, sadly, I don't have a way to capture these footages unless having like a shitty camera quality, so I'm gonna have to record just the Japanese version of BlazBlue Continuum Shift on the PSP because it's easier to record, at least for me. So all the footage you're gonna be seeing is from BlazBlue. All the footage you're gonna be seeing is from BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend for the PSP. Sorry, I just do not have the equipment to record stuff. But the point is, I like both iterations of Abyss mode. Now, why do I not like Continuum Shifts? Continuum Shifts isn't bad. It's like a baby's first RPG mode in a fighting game, but it still serves its function, and it will go on to be later improved in BlazBlue Chrome Phantasma, then Chrome Phantasma Extend, and then finally BlazBlue Central Fiction. I would say my favorite iteration is Central Fictions, despite I have some small problems with it, but I also love Chrome Phantasma Extends. See, Chrome Phantasma Extend gives you just the coolest shit ever. One, they give you a lot of platinum dollars in this mode, like a lot of platinum dollars. You can go through the level Infinity Run and just call it a day. You can get so much money. You can start unlocking the gallery just from grinding off in this mode. And the thing about Abyss mode and Chrome Phantasma Extend, it's pretty fun. They give you a bunch of cool skills. Hell, they give you character-specific skills that even games like Central Fiction don't have. Like, for example, hey, you can get like a skill for Celica, where she can just boost all of her healing. Or you get like a skill for Ragna, where you can boost his healing. Those are terrible examples, but yeah, essentially they will play on the fact that a character has a specific skill associated to them. Like, for example, hey, you got skill with Carl. You know, Carl can use Nirvana. Oh, it'll just boost the power of Nirvana, or just essentially make Nirvana stay out longer than what she usually is supposed to. You know, stuff like that. Hell, in Central Fiction, it goes the extra mile with these boss characters. Grim of Abyss introduces this thing called the Boss Rush mode, or Boss Rush Dungeon. And in Boss Rush Dungeon, you essentially fight the 32 base roster characters, and they have essentially their own skills. And they're all essentially, you know, boosted up to like Hell mode or beyond, like how the Unlimited characters were back in BlazBlue Chrome Phantasma, where they had the Unlimited Mars mode. See, the thing about these Boss Rush mode characters is that they have crazy shit. For example, you got Rachel. Rachel has an ability known as Twilight Flare. It's hard to pronounce that word. But yeah, she rapidly regenerates her heat. And knowing Rachel loving to use her heat is crazy because he's going to constantly spam her goddamn Tempest Dahlia. And I am not dealing with that shit. You got characters like freaking Jin, who basically his abilities get enhanced if his heat is above 50%. And you guys know that Jin likes to use his ice attacks with his heat at 25%. So Jin essentially can just spam his Astral whenever he wants. So you're going to have to think about it. See, for specific characters in these boss rush dungeon modes and shit like that, you're going to have to equip certain abilities to prevent your opponent from doing the things they want to do. For example, as I said before, Jin has an ability that requires him to use, like, he gain his heat. And the more he gains his heat, he gets closer and closer to using Astral. So what you're going to do about it? Jin has a very quick Astral. Sometimes you'll be able to avoid it, sometimes you won't be able to, catch you off surprise because it's so fast. So, hey, maybe you have an ability called Anti-Astral, which prevents him from using his Astral, so you have a better time, dealing with him. Or if you don't want to deal with his distortion drives, hey, you have an ability called Anti-Distortion. You can just equip that, prevent him from using any kind of distortion drives. Or, hell, if you want, equip both of them. So, you can just prevent from getting hurt a lot. Just prevent from getting hit with an Astral and prevent from getting hit with distortion. But there is a cost. Grim Abyss has this thing called the grimoire system. And the grimoire system essentially allows you to equip certain skills. Each grimoire has like a certain rank to it. For example, the blue grimoire is a rank A, which means it's the highest rank. And red grimoire is rank B, black grimoire is rank C, so on and so forth down. See, the thing about certain skills is that each skill also has a rank. And you need a specific grimoire of a certain high level to equip skills of a lower level. For example, hey, if I have a blue grimoire, yeah, I can equip skills that are rank A. And I can also equip skills that are rank B and below. But if I have a grimoire that is rank B, the red grimoire, I can only equip skills from rank B and below, but I can't equip anything from rank A and above, stuff like that. Well, then again, there's nothing above rank A, but I feel like I need to say that. But yeah, the thing about these grimoires is that they also come packed with their own skills. Now, some of them don't have skills, which is a rarity. Some automatically come with their own specific skills. For example, as I mentioned before, there are skills that allow you to essentially just insta-kill your opponent with a small chance. For example, there's a blue grimoire that I can get, and it has the ability known as the Wild West. Now, the Wild West literally gives both characters a chance to get hit with insta-kills. Essentially just, if your opponent has access to it, you have access to it as well. So it's basically like a life or death kind of thing, like a Wild West. You and your opponent can easily just kill each other and shit like that. There's a Japanese name for it, but honestly I can't remember. I think it's called Quick Draw or something like that, which still is, invokes the same feeling as Wild West. But also there's another, let's say you have a red grimoire, right? You have a red grimoire and its ability called Distortion Ring, which essentially allows you to essentially use your heats, but at a reduced amount. So essentially for your distortion drive, my bad. I don't know the percentage because I never used the red grimoire distortion ring ability, but if I were to guess, I think instead of using 50% of heat for, let's say, if I had Rogner, right? I want to use Carnage Scissors. Carnage Scissors, like every other distortion drive, requires me to use 25% of my heat. 50% of my heat. But with the distortion ring ability, I could probably use it as a 25% reduction instead of a 50% reduction. Essentially just making my every attack of mine like Jin's of sorts, because he needs his heat to use some of his specials and stuff like that. Or, hell, what if I have a C rank grimoire and it has an ability known as the Entertainer? The Entertainer allows me to, if I were to ever use a distortion drive, an astral heat, or an overdrive, eventually I get all my HP regenerated for the next match. Stuff like that. And I think all his abilities, there's like a huge assortment of abilities that allows you to essentially turn the tide of battle. Like, I had this set up, right? I had this set up for a blue grimoire, right? As it's maxed out, you can also level up your grimoires too. And each grimoire comes with its own stats. So you won't be using the exact same grimoire the entire time because you'll be switching it up because it has its own stats. And you also can set stats like you could back in the previous games, but except that you have stats for essentially, like, you have stats for, crap, I'm trying to remember exactly what they were. It's been a minute. You can also extract skills. I'm gonna get to the stats in a minute, but you can also extract skills. See, when you have a grimoire with a unique skill, like, for example, if I have a blue grimoire, right, and it has an ability called Vindicator, which will allows me for all of my attacks to be considered counters. Every attack, every distortion, every basic hit, every astral is a counter, right? See, when I want to go, you can extract the skill, right? You can extract the skill. And when you go to extract the skill, you can see that it has a specific chance to extract. For example, if I brought the Vindicator skill right now in the blue grimoire, it has a 10% chance of extracting the Vindicator skill, which you can use to equip to other grimoire, which I like, because that means you don't have to use a specific grimoire to have that ability. You can just carry it over to another grimoire and keep that broken ass ability, because hell, Vindicator is broken. Vindicator is broken. I love that ability, because if you ever use Ragna's Black Onslaught on someone, the lady who does the voice calls and shit like that, the announcer, she will just go counter, 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 counter. I love it. It's just like the most cathartic shit ever. You can also equip other skills. You can also level them up and equip them off, extract them and then re-equip them something else. It's the basic slot extractions really don't mean anything per se. You can extract them, but there's a low chance of that even happening. And even so for the unique slot where the grimoire comes with. So yeah, the skills that the grimoire comes with are very low chance extractions, and some of the abilities are really good. For example, like the Vindicated skill, because hell, dude, using a counter for every attack is like the most sick shit ever, and I love it. For example, maybe you have another grimoire, another blue grimoire. Let's say it has an ability called the Retaliator. All counter hits become fatal counters, and it's also some sick shit. So what I did, pretty much, is that I have a grimoire for every situation I can think of. You have a maximum of 5 slots to use, but you get a good amount of skills to kind of, you know, get what you're going for. You also get, like, these things called items. And these items can essentially just level up your grimoire. It levels up the proficiency to level up his, boost his level. You can also give, what you call it, like, you can also increase the damage to the grimoire. Like, you can also increase its physical limit, like physical damage limit, physical, just regular damage limit. You also increase the projectile damage, you know, etc., etc. So the one thing I like about Grimoire of Abyss is that back in the day of BlazBlue games, you would have to fight. You go every 20 floors, right? You go every 20 floors. You fight a boss character, and boom, you get a skill. In Grimoire of Abyss, you fight every time you beat an opponent, right? Just like a regular straight up a battle, right? You have a chance of getting a skill. It's not even a skill. You actually just directly get a skill, but on extremely small limited chances, you can get a grimoire. But if you beat a boss character every 20 floors, you are guaranteed a grimoire with a specific ability, and the higher you go, the better grimoires you get. Like, for example, floors, as I say, of Grimoire of Abyss 8 to 7, you can get, like, rare items. Like, they kind of base these floors off various games, like games in the past. For example, if I was playing Abyss mode in BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, they would have floors based off the Chrono Phantasma, the Continuous Shift story, the Claiming Trigger story. They also base some of the boss characters off of, in some of the other floors, like Sector 7, the 6 Heroes, you know, yada yada. So stuff like that. And it does the same thing in Grimoire of Abyss and BlazBlue Central Fiction, where they base characters off, hey, you want to go through Chrono Phantasma story? Well, you gotta fight boss characters from, you know, characters that were introduced in Chrono Phantasma, like Izuyoi, Amane, Kagura, Bullet, Azrael, Kokonoe, Terebi, yo, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you want to play the 7th floor in, Grimoire of Abyss? Oh, it's based on Continuous Shift story. So you'd be fighting boss characters like Makoto, Platinum, Relius, Valkenhayn, Tsubaki, Hazama, Lambda, blah, 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 blah. That's what I like, because it kind of goes through the history of the BlazBlue series in a small way, which I kind of like. But the grimoire system is, like, so cool. But the one thing I don't like about Grimoire of Abyss is that you don't earn any money in this mode, like, barely any money. Because back in Chrono Phantasma, you earned a ass load of money, which you can use to grind off stuff. You can grind just Abyss mode in Chrono Phantasma and earn all the shit in the gallery. But Central Fiction also has a problem with money earning. I mean, you really have to go online to earn the big bucks, or arcade mode, because arcade mode nets you 3,000 platinum dollars a run. But in Abyss mode here, you earn 0 platinum dollars. The only way to earn platinum dollars is to sell off your old grimoires. Now, you could do that because you have an item limit of grimoires to 99. You know, you can only have 99 at a time. So you're like, okay, why would I need 99 grimoires? I will sell off a few. The sad thing about it is that you sell off these grimoires and they're only 300 platinum dollars a piece, and that's literally nothing. That's literally nothing. Honestly, that's literally nothing. You want Noelle's NOL costume if you're just playing the single player alone? Good luck grinding that shit out, because Noelle's NOL costume is 50,000 platinum dollars a piece, and it's utterly ridiculous for how much that costs. But yeah, it's ridiculous, and I don't know why they made Noelle's costume that expensive, but holy shit, dude. But anyway, The point is, you can sell off your grimoires for 300 platinum dollars a piece, and you also sell off scales and items for only about 60 platinum dollars a piece. 60. So yeah, it's kind of lame, and you know it's yeah, 60 isn't nothing. But honestly, the one thing I don't like about Grim Abyss is you don't earn shit. But I feel like Grim Abyss is its own good mode that can stand alongside Grim Abyss. Grim Abyss can stand alongside Abyss mode. Now, the one thing that's different about Grim Abyss to the original Abyss modes is that, like, you have a specific amount of floors you can go down to. Like, when you start off, you go down 100 floors, you go up higher, you go down 200, then 300, then blah, 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 until you hit the infinity run, where you can just go down as far as you want and, you know, stop till you drop it, really. So, in Grim Abyss, every floor has a max depth of 100. That means from floor 1 to all the way to floor 8, you only have 100 floors to go down. Which means essentially you only earn 5 grimoires per floor, which means you're going to have to go back and grind a little bit. Now, I wouldn't say that Grim Abyss in the original games wasn't grindy, but Chrono Phantasma had a better kind of progression because you didn't need to grind all that much. They were pretty generous with what you did, as long as you got a certain amount of skills. But unfortunately, yeah, Abyss mode in the original games were kind of grindy because you had to grind low levels just to get enough, you know, points and attack points and defense points and speed points and heat points in order to get higher. The thing about Abyss mode, Grim Abyss, is that they give you the grimoire system, and that you literally have a certain amount of skills. You have a certain amount of levels up. They level up your projectile damage, your basic attack damage, your regular attack damage, your basic attack damage, your projectile damage, your defense, your projectile defense, and another defense I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, they give you points to do that, and I feel like it's a lot better to do, but unfortunately, you only have a certain amount of points to allocate to the stats in the grimoire. You can't just go willy-nilly like you could in the original modes and gain 999 attack, defense, heat, and speed. You can't do that. You have to be specific about stuff, and you do reach a level cap after a while. Everybody caps out level 99, and the one thing I like about Grim Abyss compared to the original Abyss mode is that you don't have to level up each character individually. If I chose Ragnar level up to level 99, and if I want to play another character in Abyss mode, I could pick someone like Noelle, and she's already level 99, which I don't have to grind her out. Back in the original modes, if you pick one character, you'll have to stick with them the entire time, otherwise you'll have to start the whole mode again with a new character at level, well, they didn't have levels back then, but they had no stats. But the one thing that was good is that you can keep your abilities from last time. So let's say if I played Abyss mode back in Chrono Phantasma, if I picked Ragnar and went through the whole shebang, right? Ragnar's already boosted up in stats, he's insane, but what if I wanted to play Celica, right? I picked Celica, she has no stats whatsoever, no skills, but I can still equip her with the skills I had from my Abyss mode run with Ragnar, give it to her so she can have a fresh start. Let's say I had Rainbow Aura. Rainbow Aura gives you 50 points in each stat: attack, speed, heat, and defense. I can just give that to Celica, and she already has a 50-point head start compared to someone like Ragnar, who's already just some beast. You know, I'm not gonna start off kind of, you know, garbage. I have the abilities to give my character. But with Abyss mode here, you know, with Grim Abyss at least, you can give your character start at level 99, so you don't have to re-grind them up if you want to play the boss rush mode with everyone else. And speaking of the boss rush mode, which I talked about a little earlier, I want to really go over this shit. Boss rush is insane. This essentially is just Unlimited Mars for BlazBlue Central Fiction. So let me just list off my most insane ones, right? Platinum Trinity, right? She's the 5th opponent you fight in boss rush, right? So she has an ability called Spoiled Child. It's a rank A skill. Actually, everybody's skills are rank A. She can only take damage from counters. You can't hit her with anything else. You'll have to counter her. So, hey, what if I just equip the Vindicator ability like I talked about earlier? All hits are countered, which means you can just essentially just beat her outright. She doesn't beat you first. Oh, let's go to Hakumen. He has an ability called Fantastic Revival. He can fire off astral heats whenever he wants, no matter what the cost is. Hakumen is very quick with the astral heats, and if you try to attack him, boom, he can instantly kill you. So how do you get around that? Well, you can't use your astral heat on someone who can grab you. You grab Hakumen because his counter, his astral heat's a counter. So hey, you just grab Hakumen the entire time and kill his ass that way. The one thing I like about the boss rush mode is that you have to think outside the box for some of these opponents, you know? You have to think about, what skills do I equip? What abilities can I use? What basic skills do my character have to work against these opponents here? For example, let's say someone like what do I want to say? Oof, that's tough. I'm trying to think of one. There's a bunch of character skills that have a bunch. But I'm trying to like think about characters who, let's say Kokonoe, right? Kokonoe has an ability called Hyperconductor Alloy. She is like the knife teeth opponent you fight, and her ability, Hyperconductive Alloy, will allow her abilities to be enhanced for a period, but she gets weakened when she enters the danger state. So essentially, you're going to have to stall out against Kokonoe until she reaches the danger state in order to take her down. And even then, you still have to beat her because she can just get out of danger state and go back to on the offensive again. You know, shit like that. Oh! What about Lambda? She has an ability called Life Unsupport, where the higher my HP is, the more damage she does to me. You know, it's crazy because, like, hey, you gain all these stats, your HP and shit is going higher, but that would make your opponent get stronger too, and it's ridiculous. I love the fact that these abilities and stuff are so varied between characters, and it's pretty cool. Like, someone like, and don't even get me started. Don't even get me started until, like, the layer boss rush enemies. You get to someone like freaking Naoto. Naoto reduces all damage except with a distortion drive, an Exceed Excel, and an Astral Heat, which, man, Astral Heat's an insta kill anyway. But Naoto's still a pain in the ass to fight because he has all his abilities. You can't do much damage to him, and plus you forget about these characters having stats already. Naoto's stats and attack and defense are already high enough as it is, so you're gonna still deal with that shit while also chipping away him with chip damage. Or you got Terumi. Terumi is the 29th opponent you fight. He has an ability called Misfortune. He reduces every damage with the exception of an Astral Heat. See, with Naruto, you can still kill him with a Distortion Drive or Exceed Excel, right? Terumi? You can't hit him barely at all. You can only kill him with a good amount of damage with an Astral Heat, so you got to play the waiting game. But then we get into the insanity that is all. Like the insanity of the mode, who is 9, Izanami, and Ragna the Blood Edge. Specifically, these characters were chosen because they were already unlimited forms, which they're technically in their unlimited forms in this mode. They have special abilities that are just insane. You have 9, who has an ability called Magical Essence, and it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you what she does. All it says to do is enter boss mode and destroy everything, which means she's unlimited and she will murder you. Izanami, her ability is called Essence of Death. All it says, enter boss mode and bring death upon all. Ragna, Essence of the Azure. He's the final opponent you fight in Grim of Abyss. And what does it say? Enter boss mode and eradicate everything. That is some crazy ass shit that will make anyone cry. I swear to God, it's insane. I like the fact that the last characters are unlimited because, like, it essentially just makes them busted. Unlimited Ragna is a pain in the ass because not only is his stats maxed out, his stats are maxed out, he's unlimited, and he's constantly healing. God only knows what the hell else is up with him because his AI is through the roof. His AI is unlimited, which means his AI is above hell mode, which means he's some kind of different existence entirely. And not only if it goes for Ragna, it goes for Izanami, and it goes for 9 as well. But the thing about Ragna is that he's the highest opponent, he's the strongest opponent, and yeah, he will bring back flashbacks of stuff from, like, what, Calamity Trigger, when he was unlimited, where, like, Ragna was so effing busted back in Calamity Trigger, with his multiple bars of HP, and he was still strong as hell. Yeah, but that's what makes it fun. You have to plan around these opponents. They will kill you through some dumb shit. And the good thing about boss rush mode is that if you die against one of them, you don't have to start the mode over again. You can just go back and try again. Even for characters like Mu, who's the first opponent you fight, has an ability known as Dim Accelerated Mark II, and it gives her high mobility and damage output, which essentially just makes her really fast and really strong. And the thing about Mu is that, like, she's the first opponent, and so she's the weakest of them, but she's still a beast on the battlefield. But I like these Abyss modes. You've had to think. You have to play BlazBlue in a completely different way you wouldn't have thought of before. And Grim of Abyss is like the freaking highest point of all that, right? Each character's ability is something new. Each character's ability is just something brand new that you have to plan around. Like, before I end this video, I want to talk about Tager. Tager has an ability known as No Failure. His defense is decreased, but it decreases per knockdown. So if the more times you knock down Tiger, the more his defense goes down. So you have to plan around how knocking his ass down while also dealing with his overwhelmingly high defense and obviously overwhelmingly high attack, because it's Tiger we're talking about here. But that's what I like. You have to plan around these characters and plan around their bullshit while also trying to keep up your own shit and keep up your own builds and everything like that, which is cool. Or you just cheese through the whole mode with freaking Wild West, but you forget with Wild West your opponent can kill you too. With, let's say, someone like Ragnar. Yeah, you can kill him with Wild West, but Ragnar can kill you too with his overwhelming attacks, which means you essentially just wasted your time. But essentially, you kind of have to plan around his opponents, which I like. I like that. And I think Grim of Abyss is like the perfect example of having to play BlazBlue in a completely different way than you usually play in your standard online and stuff like that, and that's why I like Grim of Abyss. I don't like the lack of money you get, but I like this mode nonetheless, and you can put a lot of hours into just trying to beat the boss rush mode alone, and that's what I like. But yeah, that's it, guys. I've been talking for too long. Peace out, everyone. I am out of here. My throat is killing me right now, so see you all next time.